What's going on? All right, I got something amazing for you guys today. You're gonna love it. Um, I am going to help you to understand exactly how I wired myself to become an investor in a way that makes sense for you. Very simple. And I promise you, by the end of this, you are going to know exactly what you need to be doing, and you're going to take the steps necessary. Um, I promise you, you will. Okay. I Let me start this over here. Give me 1 second. All right, what's going on? I see you in the place. Hey, Danielle. All right. I completely rewired the way I thought about investing. The same way I did with my health. For many of you all who don't know, I am a health coach, and I have clients who I help to reverse chronic disease. So I've worked with all type of clients, cancer clients, stroke clients, um, diabetes, weight issues, autoimmune diseases, you name it. But I completely rewired the way I thought about investing the same way I've done with health. And it has made me so much money. Okay. And here's the thing, it was not complicated. It was not risky at all. And it didn't even feel like sacrifice. By the end of this video, I promise you, you're going to know exactly how I did it and exactly how you can do the same thing starting right now today. I promise you, I'm going to show you the easiest, most realistic way to start building your wealth. Even if you've never invested before, even if you feel like you can't afford it, this is the shift that I believe is going to change everything for you. Come on in. Like the video. It doesn't cost you anything. Go ahead and like it. It helps the video. It helps the algorithm. Um, Good to see you, Danielle. I think you're gonna highly enjoy what I have to say, because it's gonna make you a lot of money, y'all. It's gonna make you so much money. You're not gonna know what to do. All right. So um let me go ahead and start, and I'll look through the chats and see if there's any questions or anything as I'm going along with this. But I want to go ahead and start because I know that you're watching this even as a replay, and I want to make sure I jump right into the information because it's so much that you're going to learn, and your mind is going to be blown from understanding how easy this is. It's going to be so easy. You're going to be like, why haven't I started this yet? Or why haven't I scaled if I have started? Okay. Because some of you are doing it, but you haven't scaled at a higher level where you can really make some money in a way where you can have real financial freedom the way you want. Um, and so I want to help you to do exactly that. I'm just looking at a few of the comments, and hey, good evening, Destiny. I see you. I see you. I see you. All right. All right. Love it. Love it. Love it. All right. Um, okay. Let me go ahead and start because most people are still believing that they need money. Um, they need to have the right time to invest. They are missing one important part, and that is the psychology of wealth. There's a psychological aspect of wealth, and I've been studying human behavior for quite some time. I'm a psychology major also, so um, I can't help but to see psychology in everything. Okay, and I'm saying this because whether you know it or not, your brain is running the show. Okay. Your brain is running the show of every decision. What's up, Breezy Bree? Um, every decision that you make. And there is a psychology to this. Hear me out. If you understand this, you will start to change like yesterday. I'm talking about right after this video, you're going to start doing things differently and you're going to know what to do. Your habits, your fears, your beliefs about money, all of it is really shaped by how you think and feel, not by what's in your actual account. I'm telling you. I'm telling you. I'm telling you. I'm telling you. And that's why two people can start with the same exact amount of money, and then one of them will end up growing into something massive and the other still feels broke. Okay. So here's the thing that you got to understand about yourself. And I'm going to go into this so you can understand you and you can start to change. This is exactly how I get even my clients to overcome chronic disease. Every decision that you make, okay, in life, okay, as especially for money, is an emotional decision first. It is not a rational decision. It's rational second. It's emotional first. You got to hear me. It's rational second. Even when you think you're being logical, because I know some of you all probably, organized think you're not being logical. Even when you think you're being logical or rational, your emotions have already made the call. Your logic just shows up after to justify the emotional decision that you are making. Okay. And that's why today I want to show you I want to tackle this idea again of fear based cycles that keep most people from never really investing the way they need to, and how you can take literally the smallest, most simple action to build momentum that is right for you, that makes sense for you, because when you learn to win the psychology game, building wealth is closer than you can ever imagine. Okay. So I want to talk about that. Now, first, I want to give a disclosure. I'm not your financial advisor. I'm just a person who figured out how to make money with investments. And I help me and my community do the same thing. I help myself to continue to do it. And I help my community to do what I'm doing. Please talk to your licensed financial advisor before making any moves. And while you're at it, ask them if they personally know how to make 6 or 7 figures off of cryptocurrency. I'm not saying that they don't. I'm just saying you might be a little surprised about a look on their face. All right, like and subscribe this as I'm going to get into this, because I want to start with the hidden reason that people stay stuck. And I want you to help. I want to help you to understand yourself and how you're going to make the changes necessary. All right, somebody said that's true. It's emotionally irrational. Yes. All right. So first, let's talk about why so many people don't start investing, or why they stop almost as soon as they start, because that's what the case is for most people. A lot of it boils down to false safety. Okay, false safety. I've talked about this a little bit before. For example, and I can't wait because I'm going to show you exactly what I did financially to get some of the gains I have. And if you do the same thing, it's going to be so easy. It's going to be so easy, y'all. Okay. So for example, I see this all the time. Of course, someone feels very responsible because they are contributing to a 401k, or they have some kind of retirement plan in place. Okay. And yes, doing that is much better than doing nothing. I promise you. But here is the problem that we're going to run into. That plan becomes a psychological safety blanket. Okay. You feel like you covered, you good. So what happens is your brain starts saying, it's no need to explore anything else. It literally will shut down curiosity. It shuts down learning. And in some cases, as I've mentioned before, there is no urgency. It shuts it down because you're convinced that, you're doing something that means that you're doing enough. Okay. You're doing a little bit of this, so you don't need to do nothing else. Right. But the dangerous part that you're going to run into that is that comfort zones is exactly what keeps people from discovering, hear me out, better opportunities, diversifying, adapting when the economy shifts. Because I'm telling you, we're going to go into a digital currency at some point, and y'all not even ready. Okay. Now, you play it safe. It's like being in a boat. You got on like the little life jacket, but you never bother to learn how to swim. You never bother because you're safe. I got on this safety jacket, so I don't need to learn how to swim. But if something happened to that safety jacket, you in trouble, right? But underneath all of that is fear. Okay, hear me out, because I'm going to talk about it even from a biblical standpoint. You're going to learn something very profound today about Job. There's this fear of losing money, fear of looking stupid, fear of stepping into something new and realizing you just don't know what you're doing. Okay. Fear is not just something that's going to stop you from moving forward. It's going to actually keep you tied. Hear me out. Fear is going to keep you tied to the very thing you're afraid of. Oh, let's talk about it. Okay. Hit the like button, please. Like, just take a second right now. You are watching. Hit that like button. Okay. All right. So, if you are afraid of losing everything, you're going to play so small that you're never going to give yourself a chance to win. That's what's going to happen. And if you're afraid of not having enough, you're going to hoard, you're going to hesitate, you're going to miss opportunities. I've said this before, and you're going to keep not having enough because fear is tying you to the thing that you are fearful of. And that's why your psychology is more important than your starting balance. Because if you can shift how you think about risk and opportunity, you can start making decisions that actually thrust you forward without, hear me, without taking wild and reckless gambles. Because I know that's what you're afraid of, or what you think is that it's going to be too risky. I don't know what's going to happen. Am I going to lose all my money? Right. And that's exactly when you are moving forward with decisions that make sense without the gambles. That's what's going to get you into the next place. It's what I often say is you need to do the smallest and easiest action that you need to do that can help you to start moving forward. So in this case, it would be to start investing without triggering that fear response. And that's why what I'm going to show you works so well is because you have to be able to take an action without triggering the fear response. That's the hard part because most people, when they take action, they are triggering the fear. And I always say, hey, if you're gonna do something, just do it scared, right? Thank you so much, Kaylin. She said, I'm new here. I love your videos. Thank you so much. First live stream, cool channel. Thank you. Listen, it's gonna get even better. Okay, listen. Because I got a lot to go over in a small amount of time. I won't hold you too long, but I'm telling you, you're going to learn something. All right. So that's the whole point, is that we're trying to get you to make decisions without being afraid. Okay. I know that there's a that's risky, right? But you got to understand psychology to do this. Okay. So that's what I'm going to help you with. I need you to remove fear and build confidence at the same time. Okay. So here is something I learned after years of working with people on their health, their wealth, and their habits. Here is what I have learned. And this is where we're going to get deep. Fear is what shrinks your vision. And the smaller your vision gets, the more impossible big moves start to feel. That's why I never ever tell people to start by making a huge, scary move or a huge, scary investment. Okay. Because if your very first step feels like you're jumping off of a cliff, what you gonna do? You're gonna hesitate, right? You go if somebody throws somebody jump off the cliff, most people are gonna hesitate. And actually, what you're gonna do is talk yourself out of it because you're gonna realize, nah, this ain't for me. And honestly, most people never climb back up to try again after that. It just debilitates. It's just reckless for your life. You're just like, I can't. I'm stuck. I don't even want to face that ever again. Okay, the thought of facing it is not something that I want to do. Right. So instead, I want to show you something that I did. Okay, that completely rewired the way I thought about investing. And it started so small that I didn't even feel like I was taking a risk. And I'm going to show you exactly what I did so you can do the same too. And at that time, let's see, there was a particular cryptocurrency that I believed in, and I'm going to share what I did. And I wanted to invest in it, but the idea of putting in like big, huge chunks of money all at once, it felt so heavy, especially because it may have been slightly of a risk move for me, right? So I asked myself, and this is what you always have to ask yourself, and this is what I ask each person that I work with often: what is the lowest hanging fruit here? What is this what I asked myself, what's the simplest, safest way for me to start? And here's what I came up with, and this is what changed everything, and this is how you're going to do it. I made a deal with myself, and I'm going to tell you how. I mean, this move made me so much money. I made a deal with myself. Every time I was about to spend money on something that I did not need, something that was just for convenience or impulse, I stopped myself. Then, instead of buying that thing, I would take the exact same amount I was about to spend and invest it into this particular cryptocurrency, right? So for me, it didn't matter if it was $5 for coffee, 5, $7 for coffee, 40, $50 for some type of takeout meal, 150 for maybe a steak dinner or something, or more, $300 for some kind of tech device because I love tech savvy stuff or whatever. If it was about to leave my bank account for a liability, I redirected it to an asset. Right. Now, this was extremely key because it did not ever feel like I was losing money. I was simply, hear me, redirecting money that was already about to be spent into something that had the potential to grow. And here's what happened. When I did this for about 9 or 10 months, I looked up and realized I had made tens of thousands of dollars. That was it. I realized I made tens of thousands of dollars, not by putting myself in any kind of financial danger, not by emptying my savings account, but by consistently swapping, hear this, impulse spending for purposeful investing. Impulse spending for purposeful investing. And uh here's the crazy part. What happened was I had built such a very, very strong position in that particular digital asset that every time the price moved 3 cents, I was making $1,000. Do y'all hear what I'm saying? 3 cents. I was making $1,000 every 3 cents of a move. Now, here is why this works psychologically. It worked psychologically because I didn't have to fight fear. I bypassed it. I wasn't taking money from my safe pal. I wasn't making a giant leap of faith or anything that required, that level of like intentionality of like, oh, I believe this is going to happen. Nope, I didn't have to have a leap of faith at all. I was taking an action that felt very comfortable to me, but still moved me forward in a powerful way, right? It was already going to be gone, y'all. And over time, that consistency, it gave me something even more valuable than money. Y'all want to know what that is? Confidence. It gave me confidence, and it'll give you confidence. What you're missing is confidence, okay? Confidence that I could make smart financial moves, confidence that my money could work for me, confidence that investing did not have to be reckless or overwhelming. Okay. And once you get that kind of confidence, I'm telling you, you start to see bigger opportunities. The thing is, just like how faith grows, confidence grows. You don't, everybody's not confident to do certain things. You have to build that confidence. And when you build that confidence, when you build that faith, then those bigger opportunities, you can take them on, right? Because you're going to make different decisions in confidence than you are in fear. Okay. So when you have confidence, you're at the point where you're actually willing to take on those bigger opportunities. Now, here's the fear trap. And I want to show you something very profound in the scripture. Here is the thing that most people never realize about fear. It does not just paralyze you. I'm revisiting this because I want to make it biblical so you can understand. It magnetizes you, like I said, to the very outcome that you're afraid of. So again, because I want you to recognize this. If you fear losing money, you're going to make decisions from that fear and you're going to lose money. Or on the flip side, you'll, like I said, you'll miss the opportunities. You'll play it safe. And a lot of times you're really self-sabotaging yourself without even realizing it, because you're self-sabotaging your way in a way that connects you to the thing that you're afraid of. So, oh, I'm afraid that I won't have enough. That fear is going to drive you. Okay. You're going to cling. You're going to be afraid. You're going to avoid the exact options that you could have to multiply what you have and to leverage what you have. And remember, I think I talked about this in another video where you have to have options in wealth building. If you have no options, you cannot build wealth. Okay. Now, again, this is in my opinion, this is a pattern that is as old as history. Most people don't realize the part where Job lost everything. And he says, because everybody quotes this, he says, see, the Lord gives and the Lord takes away. They even believe that God allowed Satan to test Job. That's what a lot of people were, he tempted Job. He tested, and that God is the one who enabled that. But if you look closely at the scripture, that's not what's happening. And I don't have enough time to go into it. But the Bible does say that God cannot tempt anyone. People are tempted when they are enticed by their own desires. And later, if you remember in Job 3:25, later in the scripture, he admits something very, very powerful that people overlooked. He says, "The thing that I feared has come upon me, and what I dreaded has happened to me." Now that's huge because and then there's even a scripture where he talks about how he spoke of things that he had no real understanding of, right? That's huge because what it tells us is even in all of Job's righteousness, there was a root of fear that left a door open. And when fear is sitting in your heart, it influences your decisions, your energy, and even your results. And so it's not that God wanted Job to suffer. It's just that fear created this opening for loss. Because remember, you're gonna actually magnetize and attract the thing that you're afraid of. And so that is usually what happens with wealth building. When you operate from fear, you're actually agreeing with the outcome that you don't want. It's like sending a standing invitation to the very thing that you're trying to avoid. Make sure you like this video, okay? Like this video if you like what I'm saying. That is why the only fear the Bible tells us to have is what? The fear of the Lord, which is not about being scared of God, but having a deep reverence for God. Okay. So, and this kind of fear also, it does not shrink your world, it expands it. It's the starting point. The Bible says the fear of the Lord is the beginning of wisdom. So it's the starting point for wisdom, for clarity, and for better decisions. So here, let's connect this to your wealth. If you are walking around with fear of losing it all, fear of starting too late, I'm too old, fear of making the wrong move, you're keeping yourself chained to the very scenario that you're trying to escape. And here is the solution. The solution is that we have to strip that fear down until it has no power left. And the easiest way to do that is not to take one massive, terrifying leap. It is to create very small, consistent wins that prove to your nervous system, I can do this. I'm safe. My money can grow without me destroying my life, okay, to make it happen, right? So that is exactly why this is what I call my little $5 coffee to crypto swap did for me. It gave me evidence, and evidence beats fear. Evidence beats fear. When you have evidence of something, it beats fear. So here's what you have to learn is that you have to find your lowest hanging fruit. People often ask me in the health world, like, well, should I start nutrition first? Should I start exercising first? Should I start? Now, I do have my bias towards that answer. But my real answer is, what is your psychology? What is easiest for you? Because that's going to look different from person to person. And I start with psychology because I understand the power of human behavior. Here's the mistake that most people make when they finally decide to start investing. For example, they try to go too big, too fast. They feel all that, momentum and everything. And then they do high risk plays often, or they do something that they don't even know. Like they got hyped about somebody. They heard somebody on YouTube. They had a conversation with a friend. They did, you know what I mean? Something that they barely understand. And you should never invest in stuff you barely understand. And then they invest in something, then when it dip, which everything does at some point, think about that, okay? So everything's going to dip at some point. Then their fear spikes because they already had fear in the first place, and they overexpose themselves. Then they panic and they either pull out at a loss or swear off investing forever, okay? That's usually how it goes. People get really, really afraid. And that's why the fastest way to build wealth and confidence, because you're building confidence along with this. If you're building wealth without the confidence, you are not, you're going to operate in such fear and scarcity. You're not going to see the fulfillment of that. And so we're building wealth and confidence. And the way to do that is to start with the lowest hanging fruit. again, I teach this in health all the time, and it works because your psychology is going to help to create the momentum and the confidence to be able to make the actual decisions that you need to make, right? So here's what your lowest hanging fruit looks like. What is the easiest for you to do consistently? What requires little or no sacrifice at all? What has the, hear me out, what has the minimal emotional resistance? Because you're making a decision from your emotions. I already talked about that in the beginning. All right. And then what still has the power to, in addition to all of that, what still has the power to grow over time? Right. This is the coffee to crypto strategy. I like that name. I just kind of came up with it. Coffee to crypto, because there was these small amounts that just built up over time through consistency, right? And I always say this because people are so intense. I mean, at the beginning of the year, I'm all for it. Yeah, it's the New Year resolution. Where you at by March? Where you at by April? Where you at by May? We got to go find you. Okay, you somewhere hiding somewhere. You done gave up a long time ago. Consistency beats intensity. All right. I would rather do one kick for 10,000 days than 10,000 kicks in one day. I'm going to outpace you, right? I'm going to outpace you at some point, right? Because it's not that you need to go, I do believe in going all in, but what I realize is that if you get the consistency, if you get the framework first, if it's lodged in your brain, starts to communicate differently, different transmitters start to communicate, and you get on autopilot and it becomes easier for you, then you can increase intensity. It's much easier to increase intensity when you have the stability there. I had a strategy that I did not have to find new money, because that's always hard. All right, y'all got to go find some money, got to go figure it out. No, I didn't have to find new money. I redirected money I was already spending on things I didn't really need. Now, for you, it could look like redirecting your fast food budget into an index fund, taking the $20 that you would spend impulsively on Amazon buys and putting it into a high growth ETF, skipping one night out per month and investing that $100 or $150 into maybe Bitcoin or Ethereum. Remember, I am not your financial advisor. This is for educational purposes only. I want to say that again. And here's why this strategy again works so well, is because when you invest money you already plan to spend, your brain doesn't register it as loss. There is no mental pain in this. There is no panic when you even see the market moving. It's just extra money working for you. That's just as simple as it is. And over time, those small little moves start stacking. And then what happens is the psychology flips. And instead of getting a dopamine hit from spending, you go now get your dopamine hit from watching your investments grow. I know what I'm talking about. You're going to be looking on that. You're going to be like, oh, wee. Yes, Lord. It's the same chemical reaction in your brain. But what we're doing is we're rewiring it towards wealth instead of waste. Into wealth instead of into waste. Okay. So very simple action step for you. Identify one spending habit you can redirect without feeling deprived or anything. Look for things you won't even miss first. I'm trying to make this real easy, y'all. Not the one thing that's your absolute favorite, but things you won't miss. Pick one asset to focus on maybe for the next 90 days. Don't scatter all your energy over the entire market here and there. You don't want to spread yourself thin without a lot of money, okay? Maybe one cryptocurrency, one ETF, one growth vehicle. Bitcoin is always good. I always say that. I'm not your financial advisor, but that's what I would probably do. Set your baseline amount, even if it's $5, even if it's $5. Commit to it every single time that you would have made a purchase. Now, if you would have made a bigger purchase, then use that purchase. Hey, if you want to make it even easier, do half of what you would have purchased. Say, you know what? I was about to buy this meal, but no, I'm going to buy something half the cost. And then I'm going to put the other half into Bitcoin or Ethereum or another or a stock or SCHD or VOO, right? And then start tracking your results, right? It's not about money. It's about retraining your brain to connect. Hear me out. reconnecting your brain to excitement to investing instead of spending. That's what we're doing. We're rewiring and reconnecting your brain to, or retraining, not reconnecting, retraining, I would say. That's a better word. We're going to retrain your brain to connect to excitement with investing, because most people are not excited about investing. And it was so funny because I was talking to my mom about how spending sometimes gives a dopamine rush. Like, some people just get excited when they spend it. And then, I was cracking up because I was like, "Ooh, I've been there." How many of y'all been here? Put it in the chat. Like, I've been here. If you went shopping and you felt so good about all your shopping and you were so excited, you doing a happy dance, and then you got back home and maybe a day or two later, you looking at all your stuff and you like, what? First of all, you're looking at your bank account like, dang, I think I might have spent too much money. So then now you start gathering all the stuff that you really didn't need and then wonder, what was I thinking when I got this? Like, why did I get this? I didn't even need this. No, I'm taking this back. I'm getting my money back. Tell me I've been there in the comments. I know you've been there because we all been there, right? It's just like we get excited about that. And if we could like retrain our brains. Look, somebody like been there, true. If we could retrain our brains to get excited about invest, see, my brain is now retrained to get excited. I'm looking at the stock. I don't care if it's going up or down. I see opportunity in all of it. I see it going up. I'm like, yay, my money's going up. I see it go down. I'm like, oh yes, I could get a little extra today. Like, I'm just always happy. I'm retrained. My dopamine is hit off of making money, off of watching money make money. Okay. Right. So here's the goal. And I'm done. I'm done. The goal, and let me share one more thing. The goal is not to get rich overnight. The goal is to build the habit of multiplying your money without fear. That does not mean you're always gonna not, that doesn't mean you're never gonna get afraid. Let me just say that. Okay. We get afraid a lot of times when we see certain stuff happening. You do. But again, this is about psychology. And if you can manipulate this and understand yourself, it's about having a relationship with yourself. And most people don't have a relationship with themselves. They get PhDs and everything else and then don't know themselves. They wake up at 50 years old and say, I don't even, I'm not even happy. I'm not even in a relationship that I want to be in. I don't know who I am. Why am I even on this job? I don't even like this job. Like, you just wake up one day and realize, what have I been doing? Why my head been under the sand? I don't even know what cryptocurrency is. What is all this stuff? Like, I thought it was just, where have I been? This been around since 2008 Bitcoin. Like, you wake up one day, you don't even know who you are. You don't even know. You've been studying, you've been in school all these years, folks getting 2 and 3 masters and PhDs and stuff. You know everything about everybody else and everything else. You on social media looking at their life. I mean, your favorite stars and stuff. You can say everything about them, but you don't know yourself. You don't know why your hormones rage. You don't know why you get emotional. You don't know why you get anxiety. You don't know why you overspending your money. You don't know why you don't have the type of income that you should. You don't know nothing about yourself. This is about relationship with self, y'all. Okay. But I just want to leave with this. Once you master, I'm talking about a mastery and understanding how to act on the lowest hanging fruit, the easiest thing, you can climb higher with confidence, bigger investments, bigger and higher returns, smarter risks without ever feeling like you're gambling your future. And that's what I want you to do. Right now, I do know that you're going to, even though you now know that fear keeps you tied to lack, you also know that small fearless actions, the ones you could take right now today without blowing up your budget or overextending your faith in some kind of way that you just don't have it in you to do, you know that they unlock real wealth and they build unstoppable momentum. But here is the thing that I know about some of you. Most of you will watch this. They nod their head and then they go right back to the same habits that have kept them stuck for years. You've been stuck for years, right? And you still won't make a change. What will it take? If not today, then when? Why sit here and die? You're gonna sit here and die? Let the world just pass you by. You're gonna wake up a year later and you're gonna feel more regret. And I don't want you to do that. That's why I'm here. That's why I get on here and I sound the alarm because I really want to help you. Okay. Now I do have the link still in the description for our 90-day challenge. Think about this. In 90 days, 6 months, a year from now, there's still going to be people wishing for change instead of living it. I wish I woulda. We're not gonna start a woulda, coulda, shoulda. Come on, y'all. It's so much life to live. It's so much money to be made. It's so much philanthropy. The world wants you rich. The world needs you to be rich. The kingdom needs to be advanced through you, through your wealth, right? I don't want you to wake up wishing for change instead of living it. Okay. Um, but I do want you to take action. Even it don't matter if it's with me. I'm talking about with your life, right? So, but one of the things that we do, the link is in the description. In our 90-day challenge, just imagine if you think just understanding the psychology of this is good, we go deeper. We take on this understanding of wealth psychology. Again, I understand it from my days with working with people in the health industry. Okay, I started off in Alzheimer's and Parkinson's, right? So I've been learning, and I've been learning about health and act and very active in the health community um for like 25 years, y'all. What we do is we take on this wealth psychology, we layer it with proven health and wealth strategies, and walk you through a plan that helps to build both your physical energy and your financial future at the same time. Because again, the emotional part is our physical being, how we make decisions. And that matters. The way your brain makes decisions, how you use the prefrontal cortex, the executive decision making of your brain, you use it or lose it. Most people are using it enough. So I understand how even the nervous system plays a role in making decisions. So yes, I combine them. And that's what we do inside the Health and Wealth Challenge. It's not just another program. It's an environment where we eliminate guesswork. We give you step-by-step actions. We hold you accountable so your results are inevitable. We help you to understand how to get your life back, how to get your health in order, and how to become financially free. So my challenge to you is don't just listen to this and let it fade. Whether you're in our community or not, make this the day you start building the health that you need, the wealth that you need, the life that you need, the life that you've been telling yourself you want, right? All right. So the link is in the description. Hey, if you have not subscribed yet, make sure you do subscribe because I come on to, continually do trainings and educate. And I give, videos, content, all of that. Put it in the comments below if there's something that you specifically want me to talk about. Yeah, Kaylin, check out the description. And yes, that is a very possible thing. We can figure that out. And don't wish for change, live it. Yeah, I was just looking at I've been in crypto since 2000. Look, some Raymond been in crypto since 2013, but haven't been yet to get any fat. Oh my goodness, y'all. I was just talking to somebody about this today, right? They was just talking about and yes, Kaylin, go ahead. The program is not expensive. I'm telling you. It's don't worry about that. All right. But I was just talking to somebody. I was looking at some of the comments. What one of the ladies was saying that she was trying to send some of her family members my videos, and she was like, they not ready. They not ready. And guess what? They're gonna be out of luck, boy. They're gonna be it's and you know what? Hey, here's the truth, you guys. For some of you all who understand what's going on, you're going to have to be a Joseph to your family. You're gonna be Josephs. It's just that simple. You just gotta know that you're stepping into that role. There are some of you who are going to have to be a Joseph because your family members, your friends, they're not mentally able to even accept the they're not able to accept this type of message, even as simple as it is. There are ears that hear and there are ears that don't. He had who have an ear, let them hear. But there's some people who cannot hear. They have locked and closed ears. They got itchy ears too. They meaning they want to hear what they want to hear. Like they want to hear the gossip and they want to hear something that's going to excite them. They don't want to hear nothing that's going to hold them accountable and responsible for their life, or they're victims. Check out my video on that. I talked about that. They're victims. They have mismanaged. They're victims and they're entitled. Some of them. I'm not, don't go back and tell your family that I said this about them. I don't know them. But what I do know is those who don't want to move forward, they always have an excuse and a reason. And most of it is not pointing to themselves. They don't put the mirror in front of them. They got to blame somebody. And that's what, makes people stay stuck. And that's not where we at. We are adults. We are growing up. Y'all, it's time to grow up. It's time to grow up and to really start to make the decisions that's going to move you and thrust you forward. You got kids, you got grandkids, you got great great grandkids that's coming behind you. It's time to break the curse and break the cycle. We have been in a cycle too long. This is too much, too long. We got to do something different. And if it's going to be anybody, let it be you, because you heard the word, right? You heard the gospel. All right. Yes, and some people, Kaylin, do have money in crypto and don't know what they're doing. And so we do get people in the community where we help to understand. It's just a learning curve. Most people don't have faith when they don't understand something. So that's what makes them stuck. They don't understand. So the whole idea is we just got to get educated, y'all. Joy say break, break, break in Jesus' name. That's right. Bitcoin, Ethereum, XRP. Yes, Kaylin. XLM. Yes. There's tons of different digital assets that you can invest in. I'm not your financial advisor, and I can't give you financial advice right now outside of my community. But it sounds like you at least are in the right direction, and I love it for you. I love it for you. Continue, break the cycle, continue to invest, get assets. Our grandparents never had this opportunity. Yeah, like, there may have been some who have and some who haven't, but yeah, like they didn't. Especially not in this economy. They didn't have this opportunity. I mean, you ain't even got to go to school these days to get a job. I'm in groups where you got editors, copywriters, business people doing all kind of stuff, like taking care of puppies and making $100,000s a month. Like, all kind of, man, it's some profound business savvy people that are making a killing in their businesses. There's such an opportunity in our economy, in our lifetime. You know what I'm saying? Like, I'm not saying our economy is perfect at this moment. That's not what I'm saying. I'm saying there is opportunity. You just got to see it. Okay. To the person who sees it, it's there, but you got to see it. You got to look for it, right? You got to knock, right? And the door is going to be open. You got to seek and you're going to find. But where's the seek? Where's the knock? You know what I'm saying? Like, we have to pursue. Okay. And a lot of us are not pursuing. All right. But once you pursue, you're going to start to find what you're pursuing. Right. Whatever you focus on is going to start swelling. It's going to start coming back to you. So that's what we on right now. That's what we on. All right. All right. I hope that you guys enjoyed this. Remember to please hit that like button before you jump off. It helps me. It helps the algorithm, and it helps me to continue to make more videos. It really, really do support this channel. Look at the description. I have a few links in the description that can really help you to understand a little bit more about the challenge, and some other things that are in the description. A couple of links that are in there that you can go to. And any question about the program, again, the reason why I say I'm like, it's affordable. This particular offer, I do have some other programs on personalized coaching and stuff, but this particular program, I have designed it in a way that makes sense for everybody. So I'm here to serve you. And if you're not able to join a program, hey, I'm still here, right? I'm here educating and adding value, and that's what I'm going to continue to do, because this is my heart. I love to do it, and I love to serve. I love training. I love teaching. I love sharing information. And so I'll be here continuing to do that. So just continue to subscribe or follow me, but make sure you subscribe so you can get the notifications when I come on, and do share in the comments. I do look at the comments for the questions, engage in there and share. What is your favorite cryptocurrency? And if you don't have one, if you don't have a favorite cryptocurrency, what would you like to learn more about in the cryptocurrency world? Okay. Now, I do love the stock market as well. So I love all type of investments, silver, gold, all of it, real estate. I have real estate properties as well. I have real estate businesses as well. I've done fix and flips, Airbnb, all of it. But what would you like to understand more about cryptocurrency? And if you do have a cryptocurrency, what's your favorite? What's your favorite? Put it in the chats. I just kind of want to know more about you and how I can best serve you. All right. I'll see you guys later. Good night.